Hi everyone, it's Tony Richards and welcome to today's Life Focus. I had someone write me and tell me some things that are going on in their life and some of the hurt that they're feeling. And they said that some people have really hurt them badly. And they asked me, how do you forgive? How do I learn to forgive? And I've been thinking about that and praying about that, and I want to talk about that for a few minutes today. So my life focus for today is learning to forgive. First of all, why do we even need to forgive? Well, you see, forgiveness is at the very heart of the gospel. Colossians 3:13 states, bearing with one another, if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. First and foremost, forgiving others is obedience. However, we also need to forgive others so that we don't grow bitter. One of the worst things that can happen is to hold on to that hurt and that anger and that pain, and that will turn into bitterness. And you don't want that. You got a life to live and lead. And maybe what happened to you is really a blessing in disguise. But I want to talk for just a few seconds about what forgiveness isn't. And I think the best way to talk about it is to say that in Rick Warren's well-known book, The Purpose-Driven Life, he explains that many people are reluctant to show mercy because they don't understand the difference between trust and forgiveness. You see, forgiving others must be immediate, whether or not a person asks for it. Forgiveness isn't sweeping things under the rug and saying what the other person did or did not do was okay. No, it's not that. See, forgiveness is also not necessarily forgetting what happened. Depending on the situation, it may require a time of healing. But the biggest thing is that you have to move on. And that's not always easy. So let me give you real quick 8 steps to true forgiveness. Number 1, acknowledge the pain, because there is pain and there will be pain, and working through pain can only happen once you admit you've been hurt. Don't try to hide it, admit it. And acknowledging this can intensify the feelings. But don't numb yourself or stuff the emotion down, as that cuts off the process of forgiving others before it's even begun. You got to acknowledge it, and you got to work through it. And you have to, number 2, think through things. You have to think through it as well. Try writing down what happened in a journal or share it with a trusted friend. Admit that what happened makes you feel sad or angry, and be honest about what emotions are rising up in you. Even if it epitomizes unforgiveness and you think you shouldn't feel that way, you're going to feel that way for a while. Number 3, imagine being on the other person's side. Think about a time when you have had to ask for forgiveness. How did it make you feel? When you have wronged another person, and did they extend forgiveness to you, or did they withhold it? The Bible directs us to do to others what we would have them do to us. Matthew 7:12. And so it can be helpful to put ourselves in their shoes for just a moment, to try to understand why they did it, and to understand that maybe it is only through their weakness that they have done things. Number 4, remember God's forgiveness. Reminding ourselves of the debt that God forgave us in Christ when we certainly didn't deserve it can help us to forgive others. Can say, you know what, are they really worth me holding on to this bitterness? If we have been forgiven for so much, how then can we hold our grievances against us? You can still forgive someone without the forgiveness of being accepted. But if you forgive them, then in your heart, let it go. Let it go. It's not easy, but it's going to be the best thing for you. Number 5, reflect on our biblical command. Jesus stressed the importance of forgiving others on many occasions and even included it in the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespassed against us. Pray that this would hit home in your heart, not in theirs, in your heart, and that your decision to obey would force your emotions to catch up and you would say, you know what? I forgive you. And then let go of the hurt. The devil is such an expert at getting a foothold when we have made a choice to forgive, but the wound is still sensitive. Don't allow yourself to replay the offense over and over and over again. Let go of the pain and determine that you are going to choose to move forward. You have to make that conscious choice. Number 7, continue to forgive. Forgiveness is more than just saying a prayer and moving on. It's a serious decision that you make over and over again. Every time you think about it, every time you hear the song, every time you hear the words, every time you read something, every time you smell something, and it reminds you, you have to forgive over and over again. The process will most likely be uncomfortable and painful, but it will always be worth it in the end. Number 8, pray for the person who hurt you. Remember the words in Matthew 5:44. Jesus commands us, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Ask God to reveal his love to your offender in your heart and for him to dissolve negative emotions. Is there any more powerful witness of God's transforming grace than someone who can display true forgiveness to the unforgivable? To my friend who wrote me and asked me to talk about forgiveness because they were having a hard time with it, I hope this helps. To everyone else, I pray that you never have to face this, but if you do, I pray that this has been encouraging and helpful to you as well. Write me at TonyRichardsSpeaking@gmail.com. This program will be uploaded to YouTube in about 20 minutes. Simply go to youtube.com and type in Tony Richards Life Focus, and you'll be able to see this one as well as others. And please share with whomever you would like, because all I want to do is bring these messages of encouragement and hope and motivation to you and to others throughout the world so that it will make your day a little better. It'll make your walk and your step a little faster. It'll make your attitude a little brighter. And in the long run, it'll help all of us to go forward.